Yene mi kriene heirohai, me krenit yashikranenu. Hi, you're welcome listening to Everyday Christianity. My name is Greg Malone. I'm talking to you today from Council Bluffs, Iowa, down here on a business trip, and you can contact me at 315-744-0007. You can also contact me by emailing me at ro8v28@gmail.com. That's short for Romans 8 verse 28. ro8v28@gmail.com. Or you can visit my website www.malonegreg, that's all one word, malonegreg.com. We'll have all my contact information on there also. I would like to come to you today with a book of Genesis, chapter 32. This is when Jacob prepares to meet Esau. And we're going to be studying out of the NIV version, and obviously we're going through the Bible. So please bear with me on this, and we will move through the scriptures. Chapter 32, verse 1. Jacob also went on his way, and the angel of God met him. When Jacob saw them, he said, "This is the camp of God." So he named the place Mahanaim. Jacob sent messengers ahead of him to his brother Esau in the land of Seir, the country of Edom. He instructed them, "This is what you are to say to my lord Esau. Your servant Jacob says, I have been staying with Laban and have remained there till now. I have cattle and donkeys, sheep and goats, male and female servants. Now I am sending this message to my lord that I might find favor in your eyes." So we see here that Jacob is calling Esau his lord, even though he's been given the birthright and he has been given the blessing over Esau, because Esau despised his birthright and eventually his blessing. But still, Jacob is being gracious here, calling him his lord. Actually, in normal custom of this type of family arrangement is that the older brother would be the lord over the younger brother, but we know from the Bible that it said that the older shall serve the younger. So anyway, he's sending this message and trying to find favor in Esau's eyes. When the messengers returned to Jacob, they said, "We went to your brother Esau, and now he is coming to meet you, and 400 men are with him." In great fear and distress, Jacob divided the people who were with him into two groups, and the flocks and the herds and the camels as well. He thought, if Esau comes and attacks one group, the group that is left may escape. So basically, he's putting together a military plan now, because he doesn't know what's going to happen, because his brother's coming out with 400 men to meet him. I would kind of be a little concerned myself if somebody said they were coming with 400 men to meet me when I was sending them tidings of joy and tidings of peace. So they split the two up in verse 7, and then verse 9. Then Jacob prayed, "O God of my father Abraham, God of my father Isaac, Lord, you who said to me, 'Go back to your country and your relatives, and I will make you prosper.' I am unworthy of all the kindnesses and faithfulness you have shown your servant." Isn't that true with us today? We are unworthy of all the kindnesses and kind things that God has done to us and shown to us over the years. If we would count back the wonderful things, the things he saved us from, the things he prospered us in, they would be just too many for us to even come to mind. So this is what Jacob is doing with God. He's going to God and he's saying, I'm not worthy of what you've done for me. I had only my stuff when I crossed the Jordan, and now I have become two camps. Save me, I pray, from the hand of my brother Esau, for I am afraid he will come and attack me, and also the mothers with their children. But you have said, I will surely make you prosper, and will make your descendants like the sands of the sea, which cannot be counted. He spent the night there, and from what he had with him, he selected a gift from his brother Esau: 200 female goats, 20 male goats, 200 ewes, 20 rams, 30 female camels and their young, 40 cows and 10 bulls, 20 female donkeys and 10 male donkeys, and he put them in the care of his servants, each herd by itself, and said to his servants, Go ahead of me, and keep some space between the herds. He instructed the one in the lead, When my brother Esau meets you and asks, Who do you belong to, and where are you going, and who owns all these animals in front of you? Then you are to say, They belong to your servant Jacob. They are gifts sent to my lord Esau, and he is coming behind us. So Esau is going to be in for a little bit of a shock here, but Jacob, he's pretty sly, and he's pretty smooth with regard to trying to pacify his brother and make sure that there are no hardships and no fighting between them, because obviously he doesn't want that. He has his wife, he has his children. He doesn't want his wife or his children hurt, so he gives them these gifts, and it's a multi-segmented gift that he sends to him. So he also instructed the one in the lead, When my brother Esau meets you and asks, Who do you belong to, and where are you going, and who owns all of these animals in front of you, then you are to say, They belong to your servant Jacob. They are a gift sent by my lord Esau, and he is coming behind us. He also instructed the second and the third and all the others to follow the herds. You are to say the same thing to Esau when you meet him, and to be sure your servant Jacob is coming behind us. For he thought, I will pacify him with these gifts I am sending on ahead. Later, when I see him, perhaps he will receive me. So Jacob's gifts went on ahead of him, but he himself spent the night in camp. So he sent all these out. I don't know what time of the day it was, but obviously he had to stay behind because it was late enough that he couldn't get going on the trip. So he was going to rest that night. He didn't get much rest though. So we'll see here what God does with him after sending out this to his brother. That night Jacob got up and took his 2 wives, his 2 female servants, and his 11 sons, and crossed the ford of the Jabbok. After he had sent them across the stream, he sent over all his possessions. So Jacob was left alone, and a man wrestled with him till daybreak. Now it says a man here, but actually this is God who is actually wrestling with. When the man saw that he could not overpower him, he touched him in the socket of Jacob's hip, so that his hip was wrenched as he wrestled with the man. Then the man said, Let me go, for it is daybreak. But Jacob replied, I will not let you go unless you bless me. Now, who is the only one that's able to bless? We can have parents and relatives that will bless us, but ultimately any blessing we receive comes from the Lord. So we see him saying to this man, quote unquote, I will not let you go unless you bless me. The man asked him, What is your name? Jacob, he answered. Then the man said, Your name shall no longer be Jacob, but Israel, because you have struggled with God and with humans, and have overcome. Notice he's saying you have struggled with God and with humans and have overcome. And sometimes we need to get a hold of things in prayer and in our mindset, and in our way of living, in the way that we do things, and hold on to God and not let go, and cause God, because of our perseverance, to bless us. He wants to bless us. And I'm not saying you have to fight with God to get what you want. Obviously, Jacob just wanted a blessing. But he had already had a blessing. And the blessing that he got here was that he had a name change. And so he asked, "Why do you ask me my name?" After Jacob said, the man replied, "Why do you ask my name?" Then he blessed him there. So Jacob called the place Peniel, saying, "It is because I saw God face to face, and yet my life was spared." The sun rose above him, and he passed Peniel, and he was limping because of his hip. Therefore, to this day, the Israelites do not eat the tendon attached to the socket of the hip, because the socket of the hip was touched near the tendon. So we see in this chapter of 32nd chapter of Genesis that Jacob comes to meet with his brother Esau. He sends emissaries before him. Jacob's response is to take 400 men and head his way, which is the threatening technique that he's using here. And Jacob says, "Hey, wait a second. Let's start sending this guy some gifts and see if he cools down a little bit." So he separates several different types of flocks and sends them out ahead with instructions for each one of them to tell them it was from him to his lord Esau. And then we see the part where God wrestles with Jacob the whole night until the daybreak, and then God actually changes his name or blesses him, and we see a great blessing fall upon him. That's the end of my expository for today. We are in Genesis chapter 34, and I hope that you will be blessed by the show. If you are blessed, please contact my website, MaloneGreg.com, MaloneGreg.com, or you can email me at ro8v28@gmail.com. That's short for Romans 8 verse 28, ro8v28@gmail.com. The better way to get a hold of me is 315-744-0007, and I will talk to you directly. You can leave a message if I'm not available right then, or you can send me a text message on that same line. Remember, the power in life and death is in the tongue. Choose life.